Hi, welcome to the studio. We are doing a glute series today. It should be about 15 to 20 minutes. All you need is a squishy ball. If you do not have a squishy ball, do not worry. You can substitute this for really any sort of larger ball you may have in the house, basketball, volleyball, soccer ball. You could also substitute it with a Pilates ring if you have one. That would make this a little bit more intense. Or you can use a couch cushion or pillow. But again, you can do this series without that, so don't worry if you do not have that. You will also need a mat, and that is pretty much it. If you would like to up the intensity a little bit, you can put ankle weights on or have wrist weights or hand weights by your side to make some of the sequences a little bit more challenging. Totally up to you though. We are going to start today's series lying on our backs. So you're going to come all the way down to the mat and you're going to place your ball between your knees. So we're going to start here. Hands are going to be by our sides. Your feet are going to be close enough to you that if you shimmy your shoulders a little bit, you should be able to touch your heels with your middle finger. If you are further away, you'll feel a little bit more hamstrings, but right now we're focusing on the glutes. So you're going to start by squeezing the ball or squeezing your knees together, squishing that ball. And as you do, I want you to pull your belly button in and up so you're imprinting your spine into the mat. And then you're going to release just a little bit. Exhale, squeeze the ball and release. 2 more like this. And release. 1 more. You're going to squeeze the ball. Now we're going to press our back into an imprint and you're going to tuck your tail under and we're going to start to peel up just an inch from the mat and then you're going to release back down. Squeeze the ball, tuck your tail under, find that imprint and then tuck your tail under just enough to lift your bum up just an inch or so and then release back down. So it's a small pelvic tilt or pelvic roll. And release. 2 more. Last one. We're going to take this into a full roll up. So you're going to squeeze the ball, tuck your tail under, find your imprint. Your bum's going to lift up an inch and then you're going to use that momentum to peel up 1 bone at a time till you come all the way up into your very first bridge. I'm going to reach my arms up so you can see me a little bit better. You can also do that if you'd like for a little bit of an added challenge. You're going to find your full bridge position. Your ribs are still knitting in towards each other and pointing down. Belly button's pulling towards your spine. Your bum is lifting. You're squeezing the knees together, pulling your kneecaps towards the opposite wall, and then feel like your heels are then pulling in towards your bum. From here, you're going to tuck your ribs in first, and we're going to slowly roll back down to the mat, 1 bone at a time. The last thing to touch the mat should be your bum, and then release to your full neutral position. Squeeze the ball, peel up 1 bone at a time, like you're peeling a sticker off of a sheet of paper, all the way up to that full bridge. Again, ribs in, belly button in, bum up, knees towards the window, heels pulling towards you and squeezing your knees towards each other, and then roll back down 1 bone at a time. Okay, 1 more nice and slow. Tuck your tail under, peel up 1 bone at a time. Full bridge, and then roll back down. Once you get back down to the mat, we're going to do the same thing. It's going to be roll up, roll down, but we're going to go a lot quicker. So you're still articulating through each and every vertebrae, but it's a 1, 2 up, 1, 2 down, 1, 2 up, 1, 2 down. And you're still squeezing that ball between your inner thighs. If you're finding you're losing this articulation as we go quicker, slow it down a little bit. Good, 2 more. Last one, lift up and hold it here. You're going to do little tiny pulses, squeezing that ball. And I want you to kind of take momentum out of it. So it's almost like a slow squeeze and a slow release. Good, you're gonna hold the squeeze here. If you had hand weights and wanted to make this more challenging, you could definitely do that here. Your arms are gonna go nice and wide to the side and then come back in. Arms go nice and wide to the side and then back in. You're pulling your belly button towards your spine and just kind of opening up through the chest to start. We're gonna add the hips in. So now instead of articulating through the spine, you're gonna fold right at the true hip crease. So you're gonna keep your spine nice and long. You're gonna come down to hover over the mat so your bum's not gonna relax. Exhale, come back up. Arms go wide, you're coming down to hover and then press back up. As you drop down, you can release the squeeze ever so slightly. As you lift up, squeeze that ball as hard as you can. And up, perfect. 4 more like this. 3, 2, last one, lift up. Hold it here. If you want your hands to help you, they can go by your side, but if not, they're still reaching up. You're gonna lift your heels up nice and high, and then tap them down. Lift them up, and tap down. As you lift your heels up, press evenly through all 10 toes, so you shouldn't be rolling over to the outside of your foot. You're pressing evenly between all 10 toes, keeping that squeeze on the ball. For 2, and last one, lift up and hold. Squeeze that ball, lift the bum ever so slightly higher. Arms are going overhead, keeping those heels lifted, and then press your hands all the way down by your sides, hovering over the mat. Arms go up over your head. Exhale, press down by your sides just to hover. 2 more. And last one, we're adding the hips in. So when your arms go over your head, your bum's gonna come down to hover, keep those heels lifted. Exhale, press all the way up, lift, lift, lift. Drop down to hover, reach your arms over your head. Exhale, press up, lift, squeeze that ball. Inner thighs, glutes, hamstrings, especially at that insertion site right by your under bum, should be on fire by now. Down to hover, exhale, press all the way up. 2 more, and then guess what? We're adding those heels in. Last one. As you drop down this next time, reach your arms over your head, your heels are gonna drop down to hover, so everything's hovering over the mat. Exhale, press all the way up. Try not to stop there. So drop down to hover, exhale, press up. Drop down, and up. Perfect. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Let's bring your arms up over your head. Heels are lifted. You're gonna roll back down, 1 bone at a time until you're back on the mat. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Just rock a little side to side. Okay, you're gonna roll yourself up, and we're gonna come onto all 4s. We're gonna place the squishy ball behind our left knee, and you're gonna come down onto the mat, onto all 4. So your forearms are underneath your shoulders. You want them to be a little wider than your shoulders, and your hands are clasped together. My elbows, as you can see, are a little bit further in front of my shoulders than I'm over here. If you're too far forward, you're gonna put too much pressure on the shoulders, and this is not a shoulder exercise. So your knees are hip distance apart, and you're squeezing that ball behind your left knee. You're just gonna bring that leg straight up behind you, and then it's gonna come down to hover, staying hip distance apart. So you're nice and tall through the right inner thigh, and that ball is squeezing behind your knee. Now, if you do not have a ball, that is okay. You can use a couch cushion, you can roll up a sweater. You can also just do this without the ball. The reason I like the ball here is so that it keeps this shape, and it'll work your hamstrings as well. One more, lift up and hold. So you can see how I'm not arching through my back, I'm lifting up through my core, and then you're just gonna do little tiny pulses, drawing the heel in towards your bum, squeezing and squishing that ball. Good. For 3, 2, and last one. You're gonna take the knee out to the side to a fire hydrant position, circle it around, and then back up right behind you. So circling it around, staying nice and strong through the core. Try not to tip over to the right side. 2 more. Last one. And then we'll switch the other direction. So it's gonna go out to the side, up, and around. We're doing, I believe we did 5 in the other direction, and this is 3, 2, and last one. Bring it straight behind you. You're gonna cross your knee over the right, so you're squeezing the inner thighs together, the knees are crossed over, and then you're stomping the foot up for the ceiling. Cross it over and stomp up. So you can see I'm sort of rocking forward and back with my body. So you're sinking right back into that hip when you drop the knee down, and then you're lifting right up out of that right hip to bring the leg up. For 4, 3, 2, and last one. You're gonna drop that knee down. We're gonna lift up, take the ball out, and this time we're still gonna keep up with that, using that right, or the left leg as the moving leg. So the ball is gonna come underneath your right hand. So now we're on both hands, the ball's underneath the right. You're gonna push into that ball, so that's gonna help to engage the core. And it's gonna challenge you a little bit with your balance. If this is too much, you can always do this, of course, without the ball. Or if you wanted something a little bit more stable and to still have that difference between the hands, you can use a yoga block. So you're gonna press your chest away from the mat. Knees are hip distance apart, they are not together. You're gonna send your left leg straight behind you. I want you to start with your big toe on the ground so that you can find this stable position. And then from here, we're gonna lift that left leg up straight behind us and then tap it down. As you're lifting up, imagine someone is grabbing onto your ankle and stretching it out behind you. You also want to lift your core in and up, so you're only lifting this leg up as high as you can using the glute. So your low back is not participating in this activity. For 2. And last one. Lift it up. Push into that ball, little tiny pulses up with your heel. Again, feel like someone's pulling your ankle towards that back wall, so you're finding length through the back of your leg. You're straightening through the back of the knees. You'll feel a little bit more hamstrings. For 2, and last one. Lift up and hold. You're gonna drop down onto your right forearm, and the ball is now gonna go underneath your left hand. You're gonna open your hips up to the front part of the room. And you're gonna take this knee and it's gonna tap down on the outside of the right knee, so your legs are crossed. You're gonna lift up and kick it out to the side. Lift it up and over, tap it down, up, and kick it out. If this is too much, again, you can do this without the ball, not a problem at all. This is just adding a little bit of an extra balance challenge. And it's gonna work the arms as well. Perfect. For 3, 2, and last one. You're gonna take the legs straight behind you, lift it, lift it, lift it behind you, and then you're gonna bend it in to tap your knee, and then press it back out. Bend it in to tap the knee, press it out. For 4, 3, 2, and last one. Lift it up. You're gonna cross it over the left knee. You can move that ball out of your way, so your knees are now crossed. Hands are on the mat. and you're just gonna sink your bum back towards your heels. And then uncross yourself. Take your knees a little wider than hip distance apart. You're gonna take your left foot and swing it behind your right knee. You may need your hand to help you a little bit, but then you're gonna sit back towards your heels. So just to stretch through the posterior capsule of your left hip. Still working on my lefts and rights. Come back up. This time you're going to take we'll stay in this position, you're gonna take the left foot. Sorry, I really am still working on my lefts and rights. You're gonna take your right foot behind the left knee, and same thing, you can either hold on to it and sink back into those heels, or if you have a lot of mobility, unlike myself, you can let go of that foot and really sink into it. Come right on back, you're gonna cross the right foot over the left, and then one last one, sit right back towards your heels. And then come on up. We're gonna do that on the other side. So take the ball, squish ball behind your right knee this time. And you're gonna come down to those forearms, elbows a little wider than your shoulders, fingers interlaced. And again, elbows are a little bit in front of your shoulders, so you don't wanna be way over here, you wanna be back a little bit. Anytime you're doing all fours work, if you stick your bum out behind you, you'll actually get a little bit more work in the glutes as opposed to in the shoulders. Feet are hip distance apart, you're just gonna squeeze that ball behind your knee, float it up an inch, and then lift it behind you. So it's gonna come tap down to hover, exhale, press up. And when you're in this position, I want you to feel really strong through the shoulders. So you're not dipping in, or your chest isn't falling towards the mat, you're pushing the mat away from you. And it's just coming right down to hover your tall through the left inner thigh, so you're not leaning your body over to the left. And you can see here, just my hip is moving, so there's no movement in my low back to help me. It's just flexing and hinging right around that true hip joint. Two more. And last one, lift up and hold it here. Little tiny pulses, squeezing that ball behind your knee for 4, 3, 2, and last one. You're gonna bring your knee out to the side, so drawing that big circle down and all the way back up. So it's going out, down, and up. This is 3, 4, and last one. Switch the other direction. So you're going down to hover, out to the side, trying not to tip over to the left and around. Trying to find as much movement through that true hip joint as possible. 2 more. And last one. You're going to take that ball, tap it down across the left knee, so your knees crossing right over the other one, and then press straight up. Tap it down and up. Keep going like that. I'm just losing the ball here. There we go. And up. So your body rocks a little forward and back on this one, so you really sink into that left hip and then lift up from that left hip. For 3, 2, and last one. Drop it down. You're gonna lift up onto your hands, take that ball out. This time the ball is going underneath your left hand. We're still lifting and lowering that right leg. Your hand is right underneath your shoulder, so your hands are at the same height on the mat here, right underneath your shoulders. You're pushing into your hands, pushing your chest away from the mat. Knees are hip distance apart. Starting here by taking that leg straight behind you, and I want your big toe touching the ground so that you can find where your weight should be distributed. You want it evenly between all four posts, both hands, both feet. From here, you're going to just lift, float that right leg up off of the ground, and then tap it down. As you're floating it up, I want you to imagine someone's grabbing onto your heel and finding as much length through the back of the leg as possible. Shifting your weight back slightly so that left bum cheek should be on fire by now. Mine certainly is. And you're keeping your spine nice and protected so it's not moving. Your core is lifting in and up. For 4, 3, 2, and last one, lift up and hold, push into that hand. Little tiny pulses up with the leg. For 4, 3, 2, and last one. You're going to keep this lifted. You're going to drop down onto your left forearm. Put the ball underneath your right hand. I've got hair everywhere. Ball goes underneath your right hand. So you're finding that stability, opening your hips up towards the front part of your space. And then you're going to bend this knee, tap it down to the outside of the left knee, lift up, kick it out to the side. Bend the knee, tap it over, lift up, kick it out. And out, perfect. And kick. For 3, 2, last one, kick it out. Oh my goodness, I'm shaking. The leg's gonna go straight behind you, keep it lifted again. You're gonna bend your knee, pull it in, tap the elbow, press and lift. You've got 8 of these. 6, keep that knee lifted. For 4, 3, 2, and last one. Good, drop it right down. Okay, oh my goodness, and we're going over time yet again. Reach your arms out, stick your bum out behind you, shift a little side to side. And then release. Thank you for joining me for this quick glute series. I'm sure we will all be feeling this tomorrow.